guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp. I'm back with obviously some more Car Wars. Told you guys we were going to play a little bit more into it. Try to see if we can show off some of the aspects you guys haven't seen yet. Make sure you watch the previous video if you haven't, because we're going to pick right back up where we left off. And I'm not going to show everything I did in the first video. All right, so I've already done these steps. Check speed, take control, manage fires. None of that's really going on yet, except for take control. Most of them have the same stuff that they had previously, except I went ahead and got their stuff set up for this round as far as speed stuff and tokens. Like I went ahead and rolled for this fella as far as his red, and this time instead of an extra control marker, he got a ace, which is cool because he can use that for a defensive reroll. So, like I said, we're going to jump right back into it. So we're at our movement phase. And remember, last time we started with him first, and I'm bouncing back and forth. So our little zigzag here, ding, ding, ding. And I've got my overhead camera going again too. So during movement phases, I'll probably switch to overhead, let you guys see that, and then get down into the combat. So as we pan over here, it's actually going to be the Gobbo, Mr. Goblin, that is going first this round. And something to take note of too, I've been noticing that some of these tokens are warping, and I didn't punch these. Some of these came unpunched. These did. The templates, the control boards over here, they were already punched out and in the boxes, but I am noticing, you guys can see that there, they're starting to warp a little bit. I'm not really feeling that, so you might have to bend them a little bit. Just be careful with it. Could be the glue that they used. Not entirely sure. So his speed, I bumped up to a 3. I wanted to kind of skirt him around this way and get in on red, who's over here, and keep that front pointed at him. We'll probably do Gobbo here on camera, and then we'll speed up through the rest. So this is his first turn, and we're going to give him just a bare little bit of a slight, just to turn him. His second maneuver, just bare a little bit, keeping him going. And then third, I'm probably going to do a little bit harder of a turn because I want him pointed a different direction. So we're going to go. And actually, let me move the camera over because I have not shown turns that well yet. All right, so once we're here, the car, you keep the back corner stable and then you start shifting it. And I think we're going to go as far as this green one goes, which is about there because I don't want to roll too much. Yeah, that puts his line of frontal arc pointing over that way. Actually, I think I'm going to have to go all the way into yellow, because red is starting to dip out pretty good. So he will be right about here. I'm gonna make sure I got my line set up. Okay, so when we're looking at that, you see he did cross the slight, cross the green, crossed into yellow. So he did not go into red, just yellow. So you'll have to get this die, but it is not just that die. It is that die and any previous die. So if we got all the way over here to white, it would be all 4 dice would get added to the maneuver, all right? So for the roll, plus a yellow die for each speed that we went. So this is the totality of his roll. 1 green and 4 yellows. 3 for the speed, 1 for the turn maneuver, and green for the turn maneuver. All right, don't forget, when you do a maneuver, you do get an ace token, so this will come in handy for him later for rerolls. We'll place that there, and we'll go ahead and roll our dice to see what icons we get. And that's actually good for him for the most part. I would have rather this been a shield instead, because what you're looking for is to try to avoid wrenches and shields. Any shields require you to spend those control tokens. And if you don't have those control tokens, then you end up spinning out of control. And wrenches cause you to take tire damage. So he's actually going to suffer 1 tire damage for this maneuver, which isn't horrible, all things considered. For what could have happened to him, 1 tire damage, yeah, we'll be all right with that. All right, so he's got his ace token, did his 1 little tire damage, finished his maneuver, And like I said, I wanted him pointed over this way to keep that frontal arc and the majority of his big weapons pointing that way, because we know Red's going in that direction. They're gunning for Ecto 1. So this way it'll keep him in there unless Red decides to, try to come back around. All right, so things went relatively good as far as the turning goes. You see the Goblin, or what's his name? Boomerang back there. Goblin's over here. Boomerang came in and turned to keep his guns pointing at the side of Ecto 1. Ecto 1 veered out just a little bit and then tried to swerve in, but I didn't want to turn in too hard. I wanted to try to get his guns pointing in this direction so maybe he could put some hurt onto the front of Red over here. And Red screamed up and he just did a couple of slights to get his guns on target, because now he's got missiles and machine guns pointing at Red, Ecto 1 over there, ready to put some hurt out. Everyone got a ace token with the exception of Red, because Red didn't do a maneuver, but he rolled for one actually at the beginning. So everyone has an ace token to use during our combat phase. This is going to be good. Okay, so we're going to start here with Mr. Goblin. He's going to be putting out some hurt, and this is going to be bad. This is still going to be side arc into our fella here, and we are just over one template away. So he's going to have one defensive reroll. And something I've decided to do, because I found that is easy to forget when it comes to combat, is just to throw down one of these for the range, just so I remember, right, when they're making their attacks. So they are continuing trying to burn down the side armor here of Red. And I actually did realize that I forgot in the previous the previous video, to do the second shot from the Goblin onto Red. So he actually got lucky on that one. But we're going to do this attack twice, see how much damage he's going to receive. I'm actually going to throw his other token here so I don't forget that I have it. He's got 2 defensive rerolls, and he's going to have 3 for his speed. So that's his defense, and this attack is being made twice. 2 twin link machine guns firing into that side arc. 4 blues, 1 black. Let's see what kind of, and 1 white. See what kind of damage they do. All right, first attack is, weak sauce. All right, that's actually a good amount of tire damage. We'll leave that. 1 damage, and he gets 2 rerolls. Ooh, and 2 damage. Nice. He is chewed into Red. Good stuff coming through. All right, so now we'll do our defensive roll for this one. See if he can at least block off that damage. And he's blocked 1. Might as well use my rerolls while I've got them. See if we can block something else. And no, did not block anything. So for his second attack, the second attack going, he still will receive 1 more for the range. So he only blocked 1 of those, which means he's taking 2 damage and then 3 tire damage because of the wrench symbols. And that is special to the machine guns that are firing. They're doing the tire damage there. His tires are down to 6, and his side arc is down to a single point of armor. We might actually see some internal damage go through on this round. All right, second attack coming from the other crew member. And this attack was better. More tire damage, more attacks going through. He's still got the 2 rerolls. Oh, more tire damage. So 2 more tire damage, 3 more hits going into the hull. Let's see if Red can hold on before he's blown out. And he blocked one. We'll give him his last reroll for range. Come on, red. Hold tight, buddy. No. Yellows are not holding on for you, so they blocked a single. So he's taking 2 more points of damage. So 1 point is going into the internals and another 2 points of tire damage. He's only down to 4 points left on his tires. So you guys can see the amount of points that you guys put into these cars really make a huge difference. This one, I mean, he had what, like 16 build points? No, 10 build points versus 26. It's not even a fair fight. But Boomerang over there has got 26 and Ecto One's only got 10. So that is even in that regard. Total points on the board, but wanted you guys to see that. All right, so we have 2 points left going in, right? That's where these come in. These are the damage decks. And there's an A side and a B side. And depending on your car's point totals is which damage deck you're going to use. Since he is a low point cost vehicle, he's going to be using A. Goblin here and Boomerang will use the B deck. So all you do is shuffle it up a little bit and just randomly draw a card, and it'll tell you, take this one, what he's going to put it first towards, which is going to be structure, fire, start one fire, and power plant. So you take them as you've got them and go down the list. So this is going to be towards his structure, so let's actually pan over and look at Red's car so you guys can see what we've got on him. If we're looking at his card, this is the side that was hit, and we're looking at this. He doesn't actually have structure. Structure would be something like armor, defensive bonuses. So can't put any points towards that. Now we can satisfy a point by flicking his armor over to create a fire. So we are starting 1 fire on that right side that he'll have to take care of on the next turn. And then the next is going to be on the plant. So we don't actually need any of these damage tokens, which you would lay down on any of the cards that actually got hurt. So let's actually pan over here to his control board. All right, so looking at his control board, you see I've got the fire here and power plant. We just bring that down a point. That gets down to 0, obviously you're dead. Lose your crew, flip your car, lose your power plant, you're gone. Next round, he is going to have to spend a couple of control markers to put out that fire, because if he doesn't, then that fire will continue to put points of damage into the internals of his vehicle. Definitely doesn't want that to happen. All right, Hobgoblin. I keep calling him Hobgoblin. Boomerang over here is firing, and we can see that he is only 1 full template away. That's what you're using. Remember, it's 1 full template. So each full template is a defensive reroll. He's only getting 1 defensive reroll for range. We're going to use the longbow weapon, which provides 4 yellow dice and a black, and wrenches do tire damage. Going again into the side arc where there's already no armor, so we're just tearing up those internals at this point. The first shot I'm going to do naked with the driver. Second shot I'm going to do using the gunner, which gets a bonus of 2 dice. Now let's see what he's going to get. Ooh, good roll. Good roll. 3 points of damage and a wrench, so a tire point of damage. He gets 2 because he went a speed of 2. He has 1 defensive token just that he had, and 1 for range that he'll get to use for each one of these attacks. So let's roll for him, see what kind of defense he can get. Ooh, he got 2 shields. He blocks 2 of the damage, takes a single point, and a tire damage. So I'm going to set this to the side over here just so I remember it, and then we'll do all the internals here in just a second. Still got the 2 defensive rerolls that he can use. Let's see what... Ooh, got to get this black one. Big Miami. Ooh, too many defenses. All right, that's another 3 points of damage and another point of tire damage going through. That is good. The tires, I can go ahead and just take those tire points off of him. That leaves him down to 8 points of tire. And we will roll his defensive dice to see what he gets. He got 1 shield, 1 miss, We'll do a defensive reroll. And he got a second shield. That's the best that he can do. He blocks another 2 points. So we got a total of only 2 points of damage to go through on top of the damage that we did to his shields. Or not his shields, rather his tires. So let's grab up that damage deck and see what we have going on there. Times like this, I definitely wish I was not playing alone because I'm having to walk around the table and grab all this stuff. All right, so go with this card. See where these 2 points of damage are going to go. They're going to start with structure, which he doesn't have any of. Opposite armor, limit 3. So it's going to take 2 off of his opposite armor, which actually is probably the best that he could have hoped for, because otherwise it would have been going into his weapons. That, however, does mean that his side armor is almost completely blown on both sides. Completely gone from one and half gone from the other. All right, so now it is Ecto-1's turn, and I'm showing you guys that I am spending both of my rockets. The gunner's firing one and the driver's firing one because these are limited use. I'm just putting tokens on them to represent I've used them. Otherwise, you could just simply flip the card over if you've got the cards out instead of the player aids. But I don't know if Ecto-1 is going to last a whole lot of rounds, so I wanted to take and use it while I could. Now, wrench results on these give him explosive damage, and that will cause the target to have to use control tokens to try to prevent some of that damage from going through. However, that only applies to the first wrench token. Any subsequent wrench tokens just add extra damage, which is cool stuff. So we're going to fire 2 rockets, boom, boom, right here into the front of red. See if we can take him out. First rocket, it is 1 of each color. See what he's going to get. That is bad. That's 1 explosive damage, which he can negate with a control token, so I don't even need to worry about rolling defensively. That was a wasted rocket. Let's fire the second rocket and see what he gets. Come on. Money, 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 money. And he got the same damn result. So he got check and squat. That is, oh, that's just bad. That's horrible for him. He got really bad rolls. Really, really bad rolls. And it's the same thing going back the other way. Red is going to be conducting his fire now, and I was going to have him fire rockets, but after how badly those rockets did, I think I'm just going to stick with his machine guns, which means Ecto-1's going to get a single defensive reroll and 2 dice for his speed defensively. And let's check Red's machine guns real quick. All right, so with this attack, Red is firing his machine guns. Usual wrenches do damage into the tires. We're going into Ecto-1's frontal armor. Now, machine guns are normally 3 blue dice and a single white die. This time, he does get to add, thanks to his targeting scanners, whichever it's called, a single blue die to 1 attack. He's doing this attack twice, once for each of his guys, and he gets 1 offensive reroll per attack. So 1 reroll per attack, and 1 attack period he gets to add a blue die to. So first one, we're going to add a blue die. See what we get. And crappy, man, the blue dice are sucking. We'll give him 1 single reroll for this attack, which is nothing. So that sucks. And Ecto-1 is rolling his defensive. He's only got to block 2. He's blocked 1. He'll spend his defensive reroll and didn't get it. So he loses a point of frontal armor. And we do that attack 1 more time, with the exception that is 1 blue dice less, which sucks. Because this attack, I mean, the heavy guys did great. They're tearing up these small guys, but the small guys just are not putting out the same type of hurt. All right, here we go. And that's better. Couple damage right off the bat. No tire damage. I was kind of hoping to get some tire damage. His 1 offensive reroll, which came up as a shield, so only 2. And we will see what Ecto-1 gets. He got nothing. He'll spend 1. Come on. He blocked 1. So another single point of damage into his frontal armor. Man, Ecto-1 is not doing good. He's only got 8 points I think total left of armor on his entire vehicle. Half of his total armor has been just stripped away. He's been shot at so many angles, but red has the internal damage. Our two heavy vehicles haven't had shit happen to them. And bam, just like that, we are done with another round. Hopefully when I'm editing this video up, I will remember to add in my sound effects that I downloaded for this, machine guns and missiles and lasers. I forgot to do it when I was editing the video in the previous version. I will say though, the more I'm playing this game, it's fun to play it solitaire, but it's work. I think you guys have to understand that this is really a multiplayer game. I think it's a lot of fun multiplayer, having a bunch of people slinging cars around, and it reminds me of vehicular X-Wing and the way that you can build your vehicles out with the different weapons and armor loads out and all that cool stuff, right? Everything I love about X-Wing, I get here, so I totally love it. Even, you know, down to choosing what pilots, you know, your crew that you have, what type of bonus they have. And I'm sorry, Goblin's got it made with that guy adding extra dice to all of his crew's attacks. That is just brutally efficient. But it's so much to keep track of. I'm wondering though, if someone could come up with something for Car Wars, kind of like Heroes of the Aturi Cluster that was developed for X-Wing to be played solitaire. And in that one, it's like you would expect a single X-Wing, or maybe you and a buddy and a B-Wing or something like that, fighting off waves of TIE fighters as you try to accomplish some type of objective. Real fun way to play the game. And I do not know why Fantasy Flight or Asmodee now did not contact the person who made that and say, hey, we will license that from you, give you a nice percentage of the profits if you will let us sell it. I mean, it's already got a big following. If they boxed it and sold that stuff, people would be lining up left and right. They would sell more copies of X-Wing because people would be able to play it solo. Now, I know I'm getting off topic of Car Wars here, but I wish they had something along those lines, you know, an objective-based solitaire system where you have so many points, or even if you level up your car, right? Your car starts out off a certain level and you get so many build points. Maybe you can't get some of the higher level stuff, higher level armor or whatever. Then your crew can upgrade to where they have some of the bonus rerolls, or, you know, potential armor, linked weapons, that type of stuff. If they had that going on, I think they would sell even more copies of Car Wars. Get a fresh set of eyes, a different group of people taking a look at it. All right, so depending on how long it takes me to finish setting up some terrain for the next game that is going up on the table, I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with bolt action. We'll determine how many more rounds of this that we're going to do. I'm anticipating at least a couple more because I want to see at least one car blown completely off the board. My guess is Goblin down here is just going to chew up the crap out of Red, unless Red's going to be able to hightail it around to get away, use that heavy terrain here as cover. And if they both focus down Ecto 1, he's not going to be long, but Ecto 1 and Goblin are trying to focus down Red. Whoever takes out the buddy first is probably going to be the side that wins, because they'll be able to tag team the other car that remains. All right, but you guys let me know what you think. If you like the game, your thoughts on it, all that cool stuff, and put any questions or comments you have down below. And I don't say this very often, but yeah, subscribe too if you would. That would help. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.